That was the worst thing about Zoom comedy, was you're bombing in your room. So like now I'm in my room bombing, and you close your laptop and you're like, I'm home.
Here.
I'm still here. I'm still swimming in this feeling.
That was the worst. The Zoom shows.
That was really tragic because it was just like this isn't the art form.
No way. You got all these little boxes, and you're like, is that guy laughing in the top right? No, he's not. Okay.
It sucks to bomb in places that are like they give you peace in some sort of way. Because like a comedy club, you're like, all right, that's where that happens. But like, I did a gig at the Strand bookstore once, and I'm like, I like coming here. And I fucking ate it. Yeah. And I was like, you guys are ruining the store for me. Like, this store makes me happy.
Yeah. It's like having a breakup with someone, then you don't want to go to the restaurant.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I've bombed in front of my hero, and then I can't even.
Who's your hero?
Stuff anymore? Tony Robbins.
Is that true?
It's not my hero, but I did like read some of his books when I was younger, and like I like Tony Robbins.
Really?
And I mean, he's kind of a now. I think he's a psycho because I bombed at his birthday party, so now I have to demonize him, and then I feel better.
You performed for his birthday?
And how badly I bombed. Like,
no, I could picture it.
What did you talk about?
Well, here's the thing. First they go, because Tony wanted me at his birthday. I had no idea that he knew who
He's
I
a fan.
was. So I had his handlers did like a Zoom call with me, and they were like, Tony wants you to a big screen, and it'll be Joe Biden, and he'll introduce you. He'll say the president's here, and then you'll come up on the screen. I was like, I'm a little worried they're going to think the president's really there because he doesn't meet these presidents, and then they'll be disappointed. And they were like, this is... We're a cult. That's what Tony wants, you know?
Yeah.
There's no arguing or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I get, it just was like, I knew in the back of my head this was bad. Your subconscious figures it out before you do.
Yeah.
100%.
Because later I figured out, first of all, the intro of me was so huge. He goes, ladies and gentlemen. You know Tony Robbins.
Oh, yeah.
He's literally a giant. Like
How tall is he in real life?
He's 7 feet.
No, get out of here.
7 feet.
He's at least 6'8". He's
Really?
very tall.
6'6".
Well, he has
giant syndrome.
He does. Look at that mug.
Well, he does. He has a tumor action in his pituitary gland, and he never removed it, and it pumps out growth hormones. That's why he's that big.
That's why he's so happy.
Yeah, and he never got it removed. But
So what happened with the bump?
So he goes, have I ever disappointed you before? And they're all like, nah. Like, everyone is pumped up with this weekend of like, you can do it or whatever the thing was. And they're just like, brah. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, I have a big surprise for you. Now, the guy before me was the Secretary of Treasury.
Oh.
Okay? He was there. Interviewing him went way over, by the way.
Who wants that guy at their birthday? I need the Secretary
Well,
of
this
Treasury.
was like his birthday, but also like this weekend of his like prime members. And then talk about Zoom, just like TV. He has an amazing studio, and just like TVs around the world zooming in.
Whoa.
Like 300 people in seats.
Oh my God.
And what's the Secretary of Treasury? The guy's like a criminal. This is back like during, like it was like 2008 crisis was like his fault. That guy. Larry Sumner's.
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
So he talks like this, and he was... Yeah, no, Sumner's, Sumner. And
just put in a different name?
He's...
what year was that, you think? You did this?
Oh, this is 2020?
Okay.
21.
Oh,
No, it was recent, yeah.
COVID times.
And he's getting laughs, and that to me, I'm like, this is definitely going to be bad.
That's
So
a good sign, though, if he's getting laughs.
I would go the same way. I'd be like, if they're laughing at this shit.
Yeah.
See, I didn't feel that.
But it was corny shit they were laughing at.
I don't get why this guy gives a speech. Who's after you, the Attorney General?
Well, he was
What are we doing?
interviewing him, and he was just talking about whatever. So he was so it's very believable that the president would zoom in, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
This guy was just on stage.
That makes
Right,
sense.
because they're not saying he's here. They're saying he's on Zoom.
Yeah.
Right.
And so then they show a package of Tony meeting every president since Taft.
Oh my
like, just like Tony meeting it. So he goes, ladies and gentlemen, zooming in. And Tony talks like zooming in from Washington, D.C. And already the crowd's like, ah.
Yeah.
The president of the United. And then I come up with my crappy wig on the screen, and the whole audience goes, oh. And I'm like, hey, it's Tony Baloney's birthday. Dead silence. Like, dead silence. Dead silence. And I'm in my head, I'm like, this is the funniest thing I have. This is dead silence.
Tony Baloney was the closer. You opened with the closer.
So then I had to introduce myself. And I'm like, no, Kyle Dunnigan, to do some comedy. And I was behind the screen. So I come up from behind the screen and they all just stand up and go, start cheering, but I just bombed. And so I was like, what is this weird thing? And then after I realized, like, oh, they're like so indoctrinated. Like, you, when someone enters, you give them all your energy. So they were doing that thing, but it seemed sarcastic because I was bombing. And I was like, yay, you're the one who stinks. And then I just started doing, I was just jumping around.
You ever panic and just start doing other impressions?
Well, no, I was doing stand-up at this point, because I had an impression thing for the end. Please. This is trauma. Do we have trauma talking about it? But you ever do a thing where you're like, you jump in the middle of a bit, you jump to a different bit, you're trying to find something that works.
Yes, of course.
Like, so nothing's even, and then I said this joke that was so, it was just, yeah, I had to do my time. it was 30 minutes. It was more money than I ever gotten.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you probably made so much money.
It was a lot for me. For me, it was a lot.
But it's funny because Tony Robbins hired you, and after this bomb, you have to hire him to like build your motivation.
I needed a tag. That was good. I want to talk about
like,
this.
I need help. I'm in a dark place, Tony.
Did he
really
talk
funny.
to you afterwards or no?
This is like maybe the worst thing. Because I had them sing happy birthday to him, and they all turned to him, and they were like, happy birthday. And I snuck off. But I could still hear him, and he goes, "Did you guys have a day you'll never forget?" Because they went like, swimming with sharks or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And he goes, "This is a night I'd like to forget."
Oh.
He's talking about me. I've never in my life tried to find him saying one negative thing ever in his life, and he said about me, like, and I like Tony Robbins. Anyway,
but he hired you. He's a fan, clearly.
Not anymore.
But that's so fucked up to know someone's act, to hire them, and then
he
turn on.
tried to help me though. In his defense, like when I was Joe Biden, he's like, "Look, he's asleep." I was like, "Please don't help me." In my head, I'm like, oh no, this is bad. But anyway, it was quite the experience, and yeah, every time I see him, I feel like a flush of shame.
Well, I think he's a bad guy.
I like to think
There were murmurs.
I'm just going to help him out here.
Look it up. I think there were murmurs of a Me Too.
Okay, there we go.
And let's be real. If you've got a cult and you're not taking advantage of them, are you really running a cult?
This is something that I got, which also made me really nervous. I Googled his last birthday, which was his 60th, and it was like,
oh, hold it right there.
He was crying. The people who, it was like all these very famous people performing.
There we go. Look at that. 4 more women accused Tony Robbins.
All right. Good.
Boom.
Hey.
Boom.
You don't want to kill with this guy?
I did it for the women.
Dunnigan gets the last laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.